Hello everyone and welcome to Miner Grinder. I'm your host delonewolf, and for this video I'm taking a trip to Dodixie while I cover a few topics about EVE Online. First of all, I'll talk about the Wormhole Diaries Season 2, which is something that we want to bring to you guys. Second topic is a talk about bosses. It's a bit related to the Wormhole Diaries as well, and someone has been requesting it. So a trip to Dodixie makes sense to have a look at the bosses. Then I'll touch on the CCP livestream. Let's take the next jump. CCP livestream on Dust 514. I'll touch on the RP news as well, although there's not a lot of it because of FanFest. But before that, you might have seen the top link going on in the pictures. Head over to soundcloud.com/Chronicles of New Eden, where what was his name again, Trias I believe, has been making voice recordings of a few of the more recent Chronicles in EVE Online. He did a really good job. I enjoyed it quite a lot, and if you enjoy the EVE Online lore, I'd say head over there, give it a listen, and give him your support. I really like what he's doing, and I hope he can continue to bring out Chronicles in a voice format, so we can just listen to them and not have to read so much text. That would be pretty awesome. So let's get started with the Wormhole Diaries Season 2. It's basically what we want to try and do after the expansion launches. Now there's a big maybe on there. If we get some really exciting news in FanFest for EVE Online Odyssey. Just an example would be Jove Space opening up, or some completely new type of gameplay. We would obviously want to check out that type of content first before we head into the wormhole. But if it's not after the expansion, it's probably somewhere during the summer. We do want to take an excursion in the wormholes, which will then become a Season 2 for the Wormhole Diaries. Our plan is not to go straight for a boss. We actually want to be a bit more of a roaming gang of battle cruisers, just checking out the sites, see if we can make some money that way, and then perhaps if we make a few 100 million, upgrade our ships, or give it some nice faction modules so we can become a bit better at it, and just explore wormhole space in a more nomadic way than what we did last time. If you haven't seen the series yet, basically we found a nice quiet C1 wormhole. We put a boss in there, and we just did some sides there for around 2 weeks. It was quite a lot of fun. We learned an enormous amount of it, but it was no high-sec static, and logistics did become a problem after a while. We had a new member in the corporation as well, so we decided to stop after around 2 weeks. But our intention after that experience is that a boss really does force you in that one wormhole. Sometimes you can have some dry spells in there, and we're hoping that with a more nomadic roaming type of gameplay, where we could easily go from a C1 to a C2 or a C3 or something like that, try and do the sides there, see what the residents are like. You never know, of course, might be some PvP in there as well. And just explore wormhole space that way. We think that it can be a very good learning experience as well. I mean, we've definitely learned to use the D-scan on the last one. Who knows what nice tricks we'll learn, and maybe the new exploration system might come in handy as well. But that's definitely in our plans. Like I said, it might not be right after the expansion, but we definitely want to try and do that this summer. Which brings me to the boss talks. A side part of the next wormhole exploration we'll be doing is that we will be keeping an eye out for that perfect wormhole. For us personally, for what we want to do with it, it's probably a C1 or a C2 with a high-sec static. The idea would be that we would find a really good one that's either really quiet, which is very unlikely for a high-sec static in a C1 or a C2, or where the residents are accommodating enough that we want to risk putting a boss there. And the reason why I want to put a boss again in a C1 or a C2, I know there's far better and more lucrative wormholes out there in C5s and C6, but this is just for us, small corporation, just for something fun to do. And I do want to put up a POS in there and manage to build a Dominix in a C1 or a C2, which normally you can't fly a battleship in there. So I would basically build that Dominix in there, and it would never be able to leave that wormhole. And I like this idea of being like a big fish in there. You know, if you get accidental visitors, at most they'd be in a battle cruisers, and they'd have to face that Dominix, the fact that there's Dominix in the wormhole. I think it just sounds really cool. And it's a bit of an objective of mine, something that I do want to realize at some point. Yeah, that's a side part of the Wormhole Diaries Season 2. Might become like a Season 3 or something like that if we find that perfect wormhole with a high 6 static, because it's really, you need something like that for your logistics. In my opinion, especially we want to leave a couple members outside as well that can join in and easily get back out if they want to. So yeah, that's a part of that program as well, something we want to do, which brings me to the bosses. Of course, if you want to achieve that, you do need a boss in there, and yeah, we'll have a look at that in a moment. But the reason why I'm here as well is because in order to make that Dominix, obviously I need the Dominix blueprint copy, which I have already, and part of that is that I will also need all these materials. Now, Mixalon, Pyrite and Tritanium, that won't be a problem. I mine more than enough for that, but I will require the other resources as well. And I've actually just finished building some stuff, so I'm freshly out of my Acetune, Megasite and all of that stuff. So I was planning to come here and pick this up anyways. So let's first do that. Then here we go. Let's pick up some Isogen. How much do I need exactly? Oh, no, 67 for 66, 67 for 66. I realize that this might change with the expansion. The Dominix might get an increase in mineral demands because it will increase in mass, 1408 by this 1408. So, but then I'll just buy the rest of it. I do want to be prepared though. I want to have this all ready in a ship in case we do find that wormhole, that I can just try and take it in there with as many resources as possible and make that Dominix. That would be really cool. It's a bit like a personal project for me. 16807 by this 16807, another 14 million. Pyrite, nope, Zydrine. Round 13, nope, 3,850, something like that. 3,850. And another 5 million. So these should all be in my item hanger somewhere. Yep, here we go. Let's put them right there in my Iteron. And these are like the most expensive parts, but I'm ready now. I should have all the resources to build a Dominix just in case. This is part of our preparation process. Another part, of course, what I've been wondering is it possible to build a Dominix on a small POS? That would definitely reduce our investment in there. And so let's have a look at Starbase and Sovereignty structures. If I'm not mistaken, one of the questions was, what are the differences between the towers? Let's see if I can find them then. Control towers, there you go. We'll be using a Galente one just because we have Galente fuel ready. So let's have a quick look at the Galente control tower. The small one, and I guess it's in the attributes where we'll find its limitations. Yeah, 1688 CPU. 2 million armor hit points, and is there something like power grid there as well? Let me see. Control distance, I just see CPU. Then there's Strontium Bay. Nothing like, I'm not that familiar with POSes myself. I should just mention that while I take a look at it. No, I only see CPU here, 1688. Let's quickly check that out with the Minmatar small control tower. CPU 1500, that's quite a decent amount less. Amar small control tower, CPU 1375, that's even less. That's a bit surprising that the Galente one is doing so well. Caldari small control tower has 1875 CPU, that's not bad at all. That one actually looks pretty cool as well. But yeah, I think that you will always find that these are the most glaring changes between the different bosses is how much you can anchor on them and how much fuel they'll use. There are of course also faction towers. Let's quickly compare an angel control tower which has 1500 CPU and 1375. So yeah, we were at around 1600 for a small Galente one. Let's have a quick look at a medium one then, which is what we put up the last time, but as you can see 168 million compared to just 80 million for a small one. It's quite a difference, and it just depends on how much you want to risk really. It'll have a lot more hit points though, which has 3375 CPU, so you can definitely get a lot more in there, and the CPU per control tower is of course your limit to how many other modules you can anchor on it, such as guns and research labs, which are mostly used. Yeah, that's down below. You probably can't see that at the moment. There you go, you get like assembly arrays, corporate hangars, sinusoidal generator arrays, jump bridges, which is 400, mobile labs, moon harvesting arrays, reactors, refining arrays, shield hardening, ship maintenance arrays, silos, and system scanning. All of these get anchored on the control tower, and your limit is that CPU that you get on the control tower itself. And it looks like the Galente one is really not a bad one CPU wise. So we're talking around 1600. Let's have a quick look. I definitely want a refining bay, a refining array I should say, and let's see how much that costs actually, because tritanium, it's a lot of tritanium for just one Dominix, and there is some downtime, so I do expect we'll be able to get some mining done there as well in a retrieve or something like that. And is it here the fitting required 700 CPU just for the refining array? Interesting. That's quite a lot actually on 1600. We'll definitely want a corporate hangar, which will change normally in Odyssey, where you get private parts in there as well. 150, that's not too much, that's quite doable. We'll want an assembly array, I'm pretty sure of that. I'm not 100% sure which one I want for a battleship. Let's have a quick look at the descriptions then. Capital ships for the capital one. Large ship assembly array. Battleships, freighters, yeah, there you go, that's the one I would need in order, I think, to make my Dominix. 1000, yeah, that just means a refining bay, and this one, it's out, you can't use a small tower for that. We'll have to move at least to a medium tower if I want to get this setup done the way I envision it, basically. Because a final part that you will need as well is a, let's see, where is it? Not an assembly array, but corporate hangar. What the hell? Where is it that you can fit your ship? Let's see. Corporate hangar. Moon harvesting? Nope. Reactors, refining arrays, shield hardening, ship maintenance array. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. Yeah, it's probably gonna be a normal one with a very small corp, which take just 250,000 power grid. I didn't see that on the control tower. That's a bit strange. Let's have a quick look at again and at maybe the large control tower. Let's have a look. Galente control tower. Oh, once again, I just see the CPU fitting. So I have to be honest, I don't fully understand this limitation on the ship maintenance array. If anyone can enlighten me, feel free to do so. Yeah, fitting 250,000 megawatts of power grid, and I'm not sure where I find that in the control tower section. Let's have a quick look. I'm probably gonna be a medium one, and I just don't see the icon anywhere. No power grid, nothing here in the description. Nope. Then there's your fuel requirements. Ah, here is power. Can I view that or something? Nope, can't really click on that. So I'm not 100% sure, but I do think I can get a ship maintenance array on a medium Galente tower. It's a bit of speculation on my part, but I'm hoping that that's the case. And in any case, yeah, that's a quick look at bosses. You know, it's all right here in the markets. Your backbone of it is always your Amarr control tower, which the CPU will usually become your bottleneck. And after that, you get all these different modules you can add to your control tower, which allow you to do some research, manufacturing, refining, ship maintenance. You know, you can dock. I think I've never used it actually, a ship maintenance array, but I think you can dock them there, refit them, and stuff like that. Of course, you have all the post guns as well. You can always fill that up. But my plan, our personal plan, if we find that perfect wormhole, would be a medium tower. Can't use a small tower. A refining array, a ship maintenance array, a construction array for battleships, and of course then a hangar for our loot. And yeah, maybe a bit of guns, something like that. But with that backbone, I want to try that and then put the Dominics in a C1. That's a bit of a personal objective, which I would really like to manage to do at some point. How about a carrier? Yeah, maybe later. We'll see about that later. So yeah, there you go, guys. That was a quick look at bosses as well. Keep in mind, of course, in wormhole space you can always put up a boss without too much problem concerning stuff like reputation in high sec and low sec. There's quite a lot more to keep in mind if you actually want to set up a boss there, especially in high sec. But yeah, that's a look at the modules themselves. I hope maybe I can help a few people with that explanation and a look at it. It was a bit of a discovery for me as well. Let's go to the next topic, the CCP livestream on Dust 514. I didn't watch all of it yesterday, but what I saw there was a group of devs that was very relaxed. They seem to have quite a lot of fun. And one thing that stood out to me was that they committed basically to follow a similar development philosophy as EVE Online. So continued improvement, and actually let me start heading back for Yona. A continued improvement on all facets of the game, like graphics, performance, and after that scale. So they do plan to continuously improve on all those parts and increase the scale of the game, just like they do in EVE Online, which I think is pretty unique for a shooter, and it's pretty awesome that they want to try and manage to do that, which hopefully will mean a lot of longevity for Dust 514. In RP news, not a lot. Looks like the Minmatar that was shot is looking pretty badly. Probably won't be the same person if she ever wakes up. Heth continues his rambling about a unified Kaldari, how everyone else are traitors, stuff like more of the same from him. He's basically going a bit crazy in my opinion. And finally in Amarr we get another leader going crazy, Jamil first. Now this might be a bit spoilerish, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I don't think I have to be too much in character about this. The reason why Jamil Sarum is going a bit crazy is because she has an entity, I would say, inside of her. It's a bit related to the sleepers. I'm not going to spoil all of it, but yeah, that's it. Basically, this entity has definitely a different agenda than what the Jamil Sarum herself has, which leads to a lot of internal conflicts for her character, and which apparently she can't control anymore all too well, because there are talks of outbursts and conflicting views from moment to moment, as well as people just seeing her talk to herself. So basically she's talking to the other who is inside her. But yeah, it's just some more preparation, I think, for upcoming events. So not too much news on that front. And finally, quick announcement. I'm going on a vacation, not next week, but the week after that. I'll be gone for the whole weekend, the whole week and the weekend after that. I'm going to the Vosges Mountains, I think it's pronounced in English. It's in the northeastern part of France, a mountain range there. And yeah, at first I thought maybe I could like do some delayed uploads, but I decided against it. I would feel the need to come and check and stuff, but just 1 week completely gone from everything, my job and making the videos. So it's gonna be 1 week of total relaxation, recharging the batteries, getting ready for EVE Online Odyssey, and being able to get right back in there with some nice videos. Anyways, I hope you liked this episode. I hope that whoever requested the post update and the post talk got something out of it as well. And for now, I'll see you all next time.